This is Michael Jackson as he's never been seen before.
Okay. Here, he's touching you. Watch it, we're lifting up the windows.
These images were captured by psychic Uri Gellera, a man who counted Michael as a close friend.
He just hugged me. And you know what? That hug.
Uri was a companion and witness to the star.
And that's me. What can you call me? Uri Gellert.
And his home videos offer an intimate insight into the personal world of Michael Jackson.
You're crushing him! You're crushing him! Honor Michael!
Now Uri has agreed to open up his archive for this program to give a personal portrait of one of the greatest icons of our time.
I really shouted, Michael, Michael, stop it! Michael, you will die, you're killing yourself!
This is My Friend Michael Jackson, Uri's story. This is Michael Jackson on a visit to Britain a few years ago. By his side is Uri Gellera.
Don't fall, please. Take that. Watch it.
Uri shared a friendship with Michael that few others enjoyed.
The man that I loved so much is going to be my best man. The man agreed to be my best man in a Jewish ritual. Wow.
Michael, in private moments, shared his own dreams with Uri.
That it was possible to get Michael Jackson to the moon. And I relayed this to Michael. I mean, the idea of him being able to actually do his moonwalk on the moon.
Uri Gellert, is Michael Jackson calling. When you get this message, please know that I pray that we do the moon trip. So I want to be the first one to do it in the pop world.
And he shared his ambitions.
You know, when Michael heard that Steven Spielberg got a knighthood, Michael wanted a knighthood too. And I understand, come on, he should have gotten a knighthood, really.
But at times, their friendship was tested.
Don't tell me, this is my private life. Stop there.
Uri even questioned Michael about the most private areas of his life.
I asked him, Michael, did you ever touch a child in an inappropriate manner?
This is the story of an at times turbulent friendship.
There was something that bonded us. I think it was the turmoils and the traumas that we went through in our lives that kind of linked us together in a strange and bizarre way.
Back in the 70s, Uri was one of the biggest stars around. He rose to fame with his spoon-bending and psychic abilities.
This is so heavy. Yes, it's happening. It's happening. Yes, it's
He appeared on chat shows around the globe.
Look, I'll show it to the camera. I don't know whose kid this is, but it's...
Among his fans was a young Michael Jackson.
If you look at it very slowly, it is still bending. Now.
And years later, in 1999, the pair would meet in a New York hotel room through their mutual friend, Harrods owner Mofhammed Al-Fayed.
Know what to expect. So there I was sitting on this couch and looking around, and suddenly, out of his bedroom, comes out Michael Jackson. He must have come out of the bathroom of his suite because he wasn't wearing a shirt. His black hair was combed backwards, and he actually looked handsome. And I jumped up and I said, Michael, you look fantastic.
I knew that love would bring this happiness I'm being. I tried to keep my sanity.
During several trips to New York, their friendship was cemented. Uri even designed part of the sleeve notes for Michael's Invincible album. Soon plans were being put in place for Michael to visit Uri in Britain. It was 2001, and Uri was planning to renew his wedding vows with his wife Hannah. He needed a best man.
I call Michael Jackson and I tell him, Michael, listen, I'm renewing my wedding vows. Will you be my best man? And he said, yeah, I'll be your best man. Of course. You know, I get goosebumps now. The most famous man in the world is going to be my best man. But more important for me was the man that I loved so much is going to be my best man. The man agreed to be my best man in a Jewish ritual. Wow.
Just months later, Michael Jackson would fly to Britain to be best man at Uri's wedding. But he was on crutches. He'd broken his foot in a fall at his Neverland ranch. On a sunny Wednesday afternoon, guests waited anxiously for the ceremony to begin, but Michael was nowhere to be seen. It looked as though the King of Pop was going to miss Uri's big day. Michael Jackson and Uri Gellera had met each other through their mutual friend Mохаммеда Аль-Фаеда. They were embarking on a new friendship, during which Uri would see Michael as few have seen him. They would share late-night shopping trips.
I almost believe it.
And even a private visit to Parliament. Fans would follow them every step of the way as they travelled around Britain. But in 2001, as Michael arrived in London for his first visit to Uri, he had one very special appointment in his diary. Michael had agreed to be Uri's best man as he renewed his wedding vows with his wife Hannah. The day before the ceremony, Uri had given Michael his wedding ring to look after.
I wanted Michael to have the ring on him for 24 hours. I wanted Michael Jackson's energy to be absorbed into that wedding ring. I believe in this, you know, come on.
They have 2 children together. They have been married civilly.
And the wedding began, and Michael hasn't arrived. And I'm beginning to look at my watch, and Hannah is telling me, hey, Michael is a bit late. And the guests are already here, the marquee is full, and, you know, some friends, celebrities came. So I tell everyone, you know what? Let's eat now. Let's go and eat. The food is laid out there because Michael is late. And the truth of the matter is that we couldn't start the ceremony because my ring was in his pocket. An hour passes, and Michael is not showing up. And we are on the phone, and I'm sweating, I'm running around between the guests, trying to comfort them. They all had fun. And then people thought that this is a kind of a big setup, and Michael will never, this was like a prank. Because they could not believe that the Michael Jackson is really going to come to be my best man. And after 2 long hours, Michael's entourage, the bell rings, and out there, the gate, and I ran, the marquee, I ran up here and looked at the gate, and the gate was opening. The limousines kind of stream down the driveway, and they come up in front of the house, and the door slides open, and Michael comes out with a crouch. And I bring him here, and he sat right here behind, on this black sofa, and I kind of kneel down, and I put my hand on his bandages, and I said, I'm not a healer, of course, but I told him, Michael, look, help me, let me focus my energy into your foot, you'll feel okay.
Among the guests waiting to meet Michael was journalist Eve Pollard.
There was more security than I've ever seen. We've got used to security now, but in 2001, I'd never seen anything like it. And I'd edited newspapers. There was more security than you get with a royal attending. Then, of course, we got into the wedding, and normally, you know, you sit down, you watch the wedding, you have your reception. Michael was so late that people sort of sat down at first, then thought, what am I doing here after 20 minutes? Then they started serving food and drinks because you just couldn't wait for this thing, you know, to get going. And then Michael came in. And then, as always, we were transfixed. We were fascinated to watch him. He sat down for most of the ceremony because he was on crutches. He'd hurt his foot. The crutches, I think, were also, white to match the white skull cap he wore. And he was very quiet. And I think did recognise it was Uri and Hannah's day.
Among the stars at the wedding was singer Patti Boulay.
When we met at the wedding, at Uri Geller's wedding, that was the first time Michael began to tease me about looking like Diana Ross. He'd turn around, look at me in that naughty way. He'd go, "Ain't no mountain high enough." Michael. he would laugh and giggle, you know. And he said, "Patti, you look just like that. There must be a throwback. She must come from your family." I said, "I don't think so." I don't think so at all. There was kind of this energy, and it's Michael's energy, nobody else. The only person I've come across with that kind of effect is the Pope, really, on people.
Just before I was lifted up on the chair, because that's another custom tradition, he just hugged me. And you know what? You know, that hug, which, I don't know, lasted for just, sorry. That hug, it was just a few seconds, but it was real love and unconditional.